Joey. So there's this, your front axle here is in
that's
two
what's
pieces.
left of it.
And the long part we can see is clearly bent and worn at that end.
Right about there.
And that's what threw you today.
Yeah, it threw me for a little bit of a wild ride today. We have the feeling that something was a little tweaked in the front end. We actually have a feeling that this axle was bent to start with. We were doing a couple. We were breaking in the tire out here in the parking lot, and when I would roll out of the burnout and get on the front brake, it would kind of have a wobble to it. We didn't think much of it, and went out there to make the first test hit, and unfortunately, well, actually very fortunately, the track is not. It's not very good track conditions for pro stock motorcycles right now. It's way too cold, and it's just all cloud cover. 50-degree track temperature, so everybody was spinning. And,
was it even up to 50?
I don't even think it was.
Yeah.
So everybody was out there spinning, and the same thing happened to us. Again, we did a burnout, and in the burnout box, coming out of the burnout box, it had a little wobble to it, and that kind of should have been a red flag right there. But we didn't really suspect anything wrong in the front end because we've run the bike so much before, and so I went to make my pass. It went out about 4 feet and just lit the tire up. I started plugging a couple gears, and then I yanked the clutch in, and all of a sudden it started wobbling pretty bad, and then it just got worse and worse and worse. Eventually, it was literally so bad, I just took my hands off. You can see it in a couple videos. I just took my hands off the bike and kind of let it do its thing, and I was only going probably 30 or 40 miles an hour. But it just kept shaking and shaking and shaking, and I was just trying to keep it balanced as best I could so that it wouldn't slide on its side or anything like that. But now the clutch was let out again, so I had to reach back down, snatch the clutch lever, and turn the bike off. And we got it stopped, and when I looked at the front end, this is after the front fender had already flown off 20 feet that way, and that's the front fender right there if you want to get a look at that.
Yeah.
Ripped the front fender off.
I saw the front fender go flying across the track.
Yeah, and after that happened, I looked down and I realized things sitting on the frame, and the front wheel is, the handlebars are turned that way, the front wheel's that way, and it's a bunch of carnage, broke the windscreen, bent up a couple other parts and pieces, but we were pretty discouraged, because right away it's like, man, we're not going to the Gator Nationals anymore. I mean, we're done. I mean, the bike, honestly, it looked like it was just ruined. It looked like you had hit a wall with it.
Yeah, and here it is actually sitting here right now.
This is the front end's off the bike now.
You and Chris, and did Skip go on that drive?
No, it was just Chris and I. We told Skip to stay back and get some sleep.
So what did y'all do that night?
Chris and I decided that we were gonna try. We made a couple phone calls and found a couple people that might have some parts for us. We needed a front axle, we needed a rim, we needed, if we could find a brake rotor, we needed a brake rotor, we needed a front fairing, and we needed a windscreen. So with that list, we called a couple people in the South Georgia area, and we found out that Walt Timblin's shop was pretty close by, and he lives right in front of his shop. He lives in a log cabin out in the woods, and his shop's right behind it. So he said, I got some parts for you, just come on out. So we got to his house. We drove 100 miles from South Georgia Motorsports Park and got to his shop at 11. And he said, I got everything, but I don't have an axle, and my son, the machinist, he's gone for the night. And I said, well, would you mind if I used your lathe to make my own axle? And he said, yeah, go for it. So I made my own axle out of steel this time instead of aluminum, and we just did as much as we could, and with a hope and a prayer, hopefully everything would work. And we brought it back to the racetrack. We got back at like 3 in the morning, because I got done at like 1:30, and we got back at 3 in the morning and put everything back together. And the next day went out there and blew the tire away because the track was not there for pro stock bikes.
Joe, you had the bike had a misfortune in testing, and you had to rebuild the front end over the night on Tuesday. Did you think there were any possibility that you'd have a performance like this?
Well,
this
I
weekend?
mean, honestly, the guys worked hard. We built some parts, we got some parts, called a few people and scavenged together enough parts that we didn't have. Usually don't keep a front axle spare, but now we will. You know, I didn't think it would go quite as well. I mean, our goal is just to qualify, really. And, you know, if we qualify in the top half, that's great. I mean, it's a tough field out here, so that's all we were asking for. And what Joey did today on the bike, you know, was really more than we asked of him to do, but, you know, he rode it and he got the job done, so we're happy about that.
And you were telling me that you all were doing pretty well, but your 60-foot times were underwhelming.
Yeah, I mean, on Friday we knew we could run a mid-80, honestly. The 60-foot times were indicative of that. We knew we could run a mid-80 because the back half was there. We just had to get the 60-foot down, and then the rest follows suit. We were able to accomplish that today, and you know, it all worked out.
Joey, wow, this is a big change from Tuesday.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Tim. I appreciate it.
Did you really think that you'd be anywhere where you're at today when we got here on Thursday?
Not at all. Not at all. This honestly, I mean, every once in a while you have a day like today, and you have to just take it, and you can't take it for granted. You just have to take it and appreciate it and love it for everything that it is. I mean, we've been working hard. You know, Joe's been working hard the past couple weeks. You know, getting the trailer ready, getting the bike ready. And we had a really, really rough test session. You know, had a couple parts fail on us, and almost it set me for a ride that we after it happened, I thought we were done. I thought we weren't going to the Gator Nationals, and for something like this to happen, I really all we wanted to do was come down here and qualify, and maybe a picture perfect weekend would be to qualify in the top 10. I never dreamed that I knew we were going to go high 680s. I never thought we were going to go an 81 and then a 79 on top of that. It was it's unreal, man, unreal. Really, I was nervous. There was a couple times I was nervous this weekend. I was nervous third round of qualifying when I was actually sitting on the bump spot when I went to go make my third round of qualifying with a 95 with an 0, and I just went out there. I said, all right, I just want to qualify. We want to be in the top 10 of the points this year. I just want to qualify, and we went out there, and I thought I won a 91. The guys at the end of the track said something with a 1, and I thought I won a 91. I was happy with that, and he stopped me. He said, no, you went an 81 with an 0. And I said, oh my God, like, this is unreal. And then all I wanted to do after that pass, I was nervous again because I wanted to prove that it wasn't a fluke, that I could do it again. So we went out there, and all I wanted to do was go an 83 or an 84, and went out there and turned the 79 out there. So, and Joe made a very good tuning call with that, with his jet choices and his clutch, and Eddie Craywick helped us immensely on getting that.
Yeah, you were interviewed both times today at the top end of the track. Did that catch you by surprise?
Yeah. Well, the 81 caught me by surprise, and then
I mean, being interviewed.
Yeah, being interviewed. Yeah. Well, I was surprised that I went that quick, and then you have a couple minutes. You can see that the cameras are coming your way.
Yeah.
So you gotta get ready and get the mellow yellow and all that stuff. But I really just wanted to make sure that I gave credit where credit is due, and that's where with the bike owner and the sponsors. I do a big part of this, but it's not possible without teamwork. So, but the interviews were fun. The second one was after I went to 79, it was more disbelief. I think the 81, I believed I could do it because I went an 80, but then I've only been 180 in my life on a Pro Stock bike, and that was at 81.
Yeah. And
then I just went a 79, so it's just like I'm still in. It's surreal.
Yeah.
It's surreal. So I'm not taking it for granted. I'm happy, and I'm gonna enjoy this moment.
You obviously are getting very comfortable on this motorcycle.
I guess so. I've had to change up my riding style a little bit to adapt to the Pro Stock bike. From the street tire bikes and the non-wheelie bar bikes and things like that. And Greg Underdahl is really a key in me learning how to ride these bikes the way I'm riding them now. And I still have much work to do, and that's part of the reason why this is so exciting, is because we know this combination, bike and rider combination, is still so new, and I'm still learning every pass. Every pass that is a good pass, I love it. Because I know that I'm not going to be perfect like these guys out here that have been doing it for a long time. So, but I'm working on it. And I'm trying to make as little mistakes as possible, and and everything's going good. Sorry, my fiance's hi, Nicole. Everybody seems to be pretty excited, but no, man, we're having a great time. We're having
Your
a great
ex-fiance. Now that you've dismissed her call.
No, she understands, but no, she's probably out having some fun St. Patty's Day celebrations. But we're having a good time here on St. Patty's Day. So,
or the day after.
The day after, yeah, the day after. So we came here with all we did was we just came to Gainesville with a sore wrist, a couple $1,000s spent tearing up the bike without crashing, and a couple break-in runs on a new tire. That's all we came with. So to get results like this it speaks volumes of what Joe has done.
And a whole new front end on the bike that hadn't been down the track yet.
Right, yeah, a whole new front end, a whole new axle. So I'm so proud of what Joe has done. He's a relatively new bike owner, and he's a privateer. His business is the business that's on the back of that motorcycle. So for him to be able to do this,
and on the chest of your shirt.
Yeah, and on the chest of my shirt, and for him to be able to accomplish this is a great thing. And I'm just so happy that I was that I was able to do this for him. Okay. And if it wasn't for guys like him and guys like 7-0 Joe from Trim Techs Drywall Products, I wouldn't be able to be out here doing this. And I'm just so happy to be able to be out here and make these guys proud.
In the course of this weekend, in the course of the last couple of years of working on the bike, where's your learning curve really advanced in preparing the bike, making it more competitive?
It's getting there. I mean, I don't consider myself a top tuner as most of these guys are. I mean, we're working at it. We're getting there. I compute everything into my thinking, into my tune-up, into the software programs that we have for ignition and clutching and so forth. And I mean, I keep pretty good notes, and I keep track of a lot of things, and whether it's weather changes. I mean, we made a fuel change between Q3 and 4, which was the difference from an 81 to a 79, I believe. We monitor a lot of things on the bikes, as so many other guys do, but I like to think that I do a good job at keeping good notes and monitoring those things. And I get pointers from a few people here and there, and I put that all into the tune-up, and I theorize it from there, so to speak. And it all worked out today, so no, I'm pleased.
There you go. And so now you mentioned Joey doing his job today, but tomorrow's the day where he really has to do his job.
Tomorrow's the day. I mean, obviously, we'd like him to win his first round here tomorrow. Yeah. We're in the top half of the ladder, so. But anything can happen on race day. Mm-hmm. Just our goal was to get in the field, and however the cards fall, they fall.
Cool. Well, good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
So tomorrow's race day, and you've got to be on your job. I know that's something you're used to. Racing as often as I've seen you race over the years.
Right.
And I know you've got a little bit of NHRA experience under your belt. So this whole crowd thing, the whole being on TV, the whole famous guy in the other lane is no problem for you at this point.
Well, it does get on your mind, and now honestly, I don't really worry about the crowds. I'm blessed in the fact that I've never actually looked up, and they've never really bothered me. Some people it might bother, but it's never bothered me. I don't want to hurt the motorcycle. I don't want to mess up. I just want to do my job and do it right. And the main thing I'm nervous about is after I went to 81, I was nervous because I was excited, but I'm like, well, dang it, now I got to do that again. I have to prove that this wasn't a fluke. Because some people might say, oh, a blind squirrel finds a nut. But so my goal was, I just want to go out there and go an 83 or an 84 and prove to everybody that I do belong there. And I didn't think I went a 79, but it happened. So tomorrow I I got to go one run at a time. I got to get past first round, which is a tough round in NHRA. Every round is a tough round.
Who you got first round?
I have Melissa first round.
Very good.
And but you know, everybody's tough. Everybody that qualified went a 92 or better, I think, and it's. You know, that's just one little slip up away, and Melissa actually went an 81 testing like a week ago.
Yeah, so got a lot of power there.
Oh yeah, everybody here has the power to win races. So you have to be on your game. I have to not go red like I did the last 2 races that I competed in, and 2, I gotta not be late. You know, it's just, and then I gotta ride the motorcycle. So I just gotta go one pass at a time, one shift at a time. You know, get my tuck right, and hopefully we put on some wind lights tomorrow.
Good. How have your lights been in qualifying?
I think I went 028, 030, 053, 053, which is lackadaisical. But
020 is right where you want to be.
020 is where you want to be. Tomorrow, I know from past experiences, my lights tend to get a little bit quicker on race day. So I'm just going to do everything that I've been doing, leave when I've been leaving, and hopefully it all comes together and a miracle happens.
We knew we had a tough round with Melissa first round, a formidable competitor, and then Joey's able to get his first round win there. I think get the nerves out, the butterflies. And then really round 2 with LE, we were like, well, we're going to try something here. It's a crapshoot. The heat's coming, but it worked out good. And actually, they had the exact same ET. Just Joey had a better light, which. You know, that's his forte. He's really good at that. So, you know, going into the semis, listen, Eddie's a champion for a reason. So, hats off to them. They did a great job and their crew, and we couldn't compete with them in the semis, and there's nothing wrong with that for us.
Yeah. Joey.
Hey, Tim.
What a weekend, what a day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's been an amazing weekend. You know, we're kind of on cloud 9 right now. We struggled a lot before this weekend, and to come here and do what we did, it's just a great day, and we're trying to enjoy every bit of it. You know?
Very good. Yeah. Did it get stressful as you were going rounds, or was it just so much fun?
Man, I haven't had that much fun in a long time. I'm aware of what this is, NHRA, and everything that goes into it, and some of the names that are here. I was kind of thinking to myself, like listen, like kid, like you
got a lot of work.
You're number 3 now, like that's great and all, but you could go out there and you could make yourself look kind of dumb right now if you don't do what you're supposed to do. So don't think that you got anything in the bag, and you can't, because I had to race Melissa Serber first round, and she's got really good junior Pippin power and Chip Ellis power, and I knew what she could do, and I couldn't give her any slack, but I also didn't want to go red. The last 2 times I was out here on Pro Stock Bikes, I went red, so I held back. I knew I was going to go 2 numbers better on my light than I was in qualifying, so I held back a little bit, and it turns out I did go 2 numbers better. I went like an 035 instead of an 053, which I did in qualifying. So once that round was done and we got the win, a weight was lifted. I was like, you know what, I got to go up against Ellie Tonglin. He's a past champion, an amazing racer, and someone who I look up to. I got to go up here and I got to go compete with him. Nothing can bother me now. Like, nothing. I don't feel a thing. I'm just gonna go up there. If I go a couple thou red, whatever. If I get a really good light, I'm gonna keep him honest and I'm gonna make him work for it. And that's what we did. I went 021, and actually the funny thing is I went 021 and I didn't look at the light. Normally you can see the light passing you, like the Christmas tree. I plugged second gear and I looked up at the finish line to see if there was any wind lights on, because I didn't know if I went red or not. So
you can really think about it. You're in the course of doing what you're doing, hitting your shift points. You're really thinking about all.
Oh yeah, I had time between the
After all, you're not running 640s at 220 something.
Well, but these gears come fast. These gears come fast, man, and there's 6 of them to get through. So, but for an all motorbike, it screams. Yeah. But so I look up, there's no wind lights. Shift light comes on, plug it, I was already in my tuck. I got my tuck way too early. I did exactly what I wasn't supposed to do, but I was already tucked up, and I couldn't see him. And I knew that we had the horsepower to finish this off. So I just kept plugging gears, tucking my elbows in, and then all of a sudden we got past the grandstands and the crosswind hit, and it just tilted me over to the side a little bit, and I just corrected it, came back up, and then the wind light came on. So, and I got really dizzy screaming in my helmet just because I didn't think it was possible what I did there. But, and then, so after that, I was like again, I mean, this whole weekend has been like this attitude of like, are you kidding me, man? Like, we actually just did that.
Yeah.
And like, it's not supposed to happen this way. Like, people don't like this, like things like this.
The former champ on the current champ's machinery that run,
on the White Alligator racing bike. Yep. Yeah. And Ellie's tough. He's a great racer, and
Did he say anything to you at the other end?
He just said, "Good job, congratulations." Ellie's a hell of a champion, and a hell of a good guy, and I'm really good friends with Ellie. I'm really good friends with Jerry and all these guys out here, and I have an immense amount of respect for them. And I knew who I had to race the next round, Eddie Krawick, and man, I was just like, you know what? Like I said, whatever happens, happens. Like, nothing can put me down right now. That's what I actually said to Joe and my dad right on the starting line. I shook everybody's hand and I said, listen, no matter what happens right now, this has been one of the best weekends of my life, and nothing can put us down right now. We're one of the last standing privateers out here that can do this. And so I had to race against Eddie, and Eddie just told me, he said, hey, just go do your thing. And he's like, I'm proud of what you've done, and all this, and this, that, and the third. So I went 0.23 on Eddie against his 0.53. I got him by a couple numbers, but he knew he had me. He spotted me a few. He knew he wasn't going to push it too hard. And we rattled the tire real good. The track started going away, and we still had our killer tune-up in it. So rattled the tire, and Eddie drove off a little bit, but I kept him honest. You know, I made him work for it. So all in all, it was a great weekend. I got down to the end of the racetrack after that run, and I was sitting in between Eddie and Andrew, who are two people that I just emulate to be, and they're my mentors. And their company backs me, and they give us the horsepower to do what we do. And I just can't thank those guys enough for everything they do for the sport. And they have earned everything that they have. And one thing Eddie did tell me, he told me that I did a great job, and he said, enjoy the dream. And then I asked him, I said, are you still enjoying it? He said, yeah, I'm still enjoying it. He said, just keep doing what you're doing, and you'll be fine.
Yeah. Right now there'll be a lot of love. Win for a few years, and there'll be a lot of haters. You know how that goes.
Well, that's how it goes, and I'm happy to get some love after the past couple years of some haters. But
I hear you.
But I can't thank the people who support me. Out there, like all my IDBL family, my Man Cup family that have been, they're all rooting for me, and I see all their stuff on Facebook, and I appreciate it so much, and all the text messages that I'm getting from everybody, and it's I'm just happy to be out here doing what I'm supposed to do, because there's, I expected certain things out of myself, and I'm just glad that it came together. And our goal for this year is to be in the top 10 and to be known. And we're off to a really good start with with me and Joe. We're working great together, and I can't be any more grateful to Joe for everything he's doing. He's spending a lot of money, and his guys at San Marino Excavating are working so hard. They worked for 3 weeks straight on this truck and trailer that we have in here, and on the bike. And I went up to Detroit and worked with Joe for a week, and we had a good time, and I got to bond with his family and the guys that work at his shop, and I'm just so blessed to be around such a good person.
Very good. Yeah. Who else you want to thank?
Well, I got a couple people on board this year. Of course, Joe from San Marino, that's definitely a big one. And then we got Jim Baldwin from Suzuki Extended Protection, who's also on the bike as well. We have just recently picked up Pingle as a sponsor. They've got some great parts and some great wheel chocks that we're using to get these bikes around the country. And then we got 7-0 Joe has sponsored me this year from Trimtex Drywall Products, and he's such an awesome person. He just wants to, he told me, he said, Joe, he's like, take what I'm going to give you and just do whatever you can with it. I just want to see you succeed, and I want to invest in you and see what you can do with it. So it's people like him that make it possible for people like me to do what I'm doing. and you know, we're small town guys, and we're small fries in this big ocean. You know, I mean, we're just out here trying to do the best we can do. And if it wasn't for people like these guys, we wouldn't be able to do it. And of course, I have to thank Vance and Hines, you know, Eddie and Andrew, and especially Eddie. If it wasn't, a lot of people, some people might know this, some people might not. If it wasn't for Eddie Krawick, I would never have gotten a chance to be on a Pro Stock motorcycle. I rented a bike a couple years ago, but that was us producing the money to come out here and do it. It wasn't an actual chance like he got me. He introduced me to Joe, and he's given me a lot of advice on how to compose myself, on how to ride, on what to do. He tells me when I'm doing something wrong and when I'm doing something right, and congratulates me when I need to be congratulated, and tells me to straighten out when I need to be straightened out. So I look up to Eddie in a huge way, and I just want to thank him from the bottom of my heart. And this one's for you, buddy. Thank you. I just want to give an extra special shout out to my fiance Nicole at home for putting up with this and letting me and live out my dream, and waiting for me at home and taking care of the dog while I'm gone for over a week at a time, and being supportive, and I just can't thank her enough. She's a great girl, and my mom and my dad for being so supportive. And my dad, I'm working with him this year with Gladstone Race Engines, and we opened up shop a couple months ago. And we're doing great, and I'm having a great time working with my family, and trying to really. It's a really nice feeling to be able to help out the family. You know, it's when it comes down to it, it's all about family. And this race team that I have right here is a family. I work with my family, and I consider everybody my family. I consider Tim Haley my family. It's just you know, it's all about family. And my drag bike family, I love you guys. Thank you so much.
And you want to call out Jameson by name? Jameson, call him out by name?
Oh, my dog? Jameson? Yeah. Love you, buddy. I love you, buddy. Keep being good for your mom.
You know, I can't thank the crew enough. John and Chris and Joey driving or riding the bike, and Skip helping out, and all the guys from Underdahl and Stouffer, Suzuki Extended, all the guys here helping. I mean, really helped us this weekend and kept us focused. I mean, what we went through this week, Gary made a great comment. He goes, you know, 99 out of 100 guys would have went home, what you guys went through. But we stuck it out, and, you know, I'm proud of them for that.
Sure.
I want to thank all the guys, Chris Klontz and John Livesey, the crew, and Joey for riding such, you know, did such a great job. Skip, all the guys at San Marino Excavating, actually men and women there. You know, it's Suzuki Extended Protection. Jim helps out graciously. You know, Gary and Karen Stouffer, Greg Underdahl, the whole family. I mean, we started this season as a venture between the three of us, and it's coming along nicely. And you know, the machine parts that come out of Custom Machine really help us, and we can't thank all them guys enough. And you know, it's tough. It's tough being away for 8 days here with my family, and it'll be nice to get home.
I hear you. Next up, Charlotte, right?
Yep.
Joey's got a lot of experience racing in the state of North Carolina,
Yep.
so that should be good.
Yep, I think it might, this 4-wide, I think he can handle that.
Yeah.
You know, I'll show him and talk to him on how the tree's going to activate and so forth, but I think after he sees it, he'll be okay with it. It is tricky for the rookies or the newcomers, but
yeah.
You know, I actually grew up racing snowmobiles with 4-wide, so for me, it's natural. Yeah.
He's done some grudge racing, so
Yep.
he's used to anything.
Yeah.
Hey, man, congratulations.
Thanks, Tim. Appreciate it.
We got a lot of room this year. We got a lot of marketing opportunities that are open to help us out, and we've shown that we have a little bit of potential. So hopefully more things come about, and you'd be surprised, sponsors. It's a lot cheaper than you think to get your name out here. So hit me up.
Keep it rolling.
Thank you, buddy.